It's time now for the Peter Channel Morning News on this Thursday morning, September 15th, 2016. Got, good morning to you all on this lovely Thursday morning, September 15th, 2016. Here are your news and odds. Top away at 8:10 in this. Furthermore, it is Barack Obama won re-election 4 years ago because 2012 election had more Democrats than Republicans and because the president had served with his fellow Democrats. A police officer fatally shot a 13-year-old when he was trying to detain fellow. Following reports of an armed robbery, according to officials in Columbus, Ohio. The ground had barely stopped shaking from North Korea's most recent nuclear test last week when the international accommodations began. Police investigated and examined the gunny count. Two boat followed the explosion and was en route to the nearby island of Lombok and Panagai port in Kangsam, Bali, Indonesia on Thursday. City, a ring flap that the Washington shore off of the island of Tanzania has been identified as belonging to the missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, Australian officials said Thursday. Nearly 2 weeks after Samsung recalled the Galaxy Note 7 due to a risk of explosion, the device is still being used just as frequently by owners. London, the British government on Thursday gave the go-ahead to a Chinese-financed nuclear power station 2 months after the Prime Minister Theresa May balked at the deal that has raised concerns about the security of Britain's energy supply. A serious ceasefire largely halted residents are trapped in Aleppo, eagerly await their crucial aid supplies after months cut off from the rest of the world. London on a Sunday morning in late June, as Britain absorbed the staggering news that it had voted to abandon the European Union as a sword-faced candidate and took to the national television to offer assurances the world was not ending. Washington. Donald Trump reversed courses Wednesday and divulged some results from his recent medical examination during taping the Dr. Oz show. Taipei, Taiwan. Taiwan's officials said Typhoon Murat killed at least one person and injured at least 44 before the storm system made landfall in mainland China on Thursday. Manila, a former Filipino military said President Wiggins ordered the killings of hundreds of criminals and political rivals while being mayor of Davao City. Bali, Indonesia. A German woman has been killed in 19 efforts in a transport explosion in Bali, officials said. It's hard hurricane season. The tropics were apparently missed on Thursday. Generally, it was dark rain and tropical depression Thursday morning off the southeast coast. The Florida man, when charged Wednesday, was certified at the mosque where Pulse nightclub shooter Omar Martinez worship at a criminal history including the rest of armed robbery, battery, and a theft convicted he served 4 years. A Cheyenne police officer takes office North College drive through the shooting at her Square department says egg over pork game laser fatal shooting at a senior living facility. A widespread fire outage 2 at the Western University New Jersey campus left 90 buildings dark, forced 3,000 students out of the 39 residence halls and prompted cancellation of all evening classes, the official said Wednesday. Arcana, Ohio. 2 men died when a small plane crashed in a cornfield near Dayton, Ohio. Police said. Washington. Resident Barack Obama expected to announce the creation of the first athletic marine national monument in the United States. Washington, the UPIC voted daily presidential tracking poll released Thursday shows Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton in the eventual tie. Albuquerque, New Mexico. A New Mexico mother admitted that she thought that I made to rape her daughter in the weeks leading to the girl's eventual killing, police said. Foxborough. Police Chief Andrew O'Leary roots for the New Patriots win every game, not just because it was race and worked most of his career in the team's whole time. O'Leary, who has cheered the Pats open the victory in Arizona's premier Sunday's home opener to Chelsea, where his job makes him ahead of the team security followed by a full game in 4 nights. O'Leary said the success of the resilience of the team had a positive effect on fan behavior as he worked with the Patriots games going back to the 1970s and patrolman at the old stadium. Having experienced not so good teams in the past, he experienced the difference winning mates. He has seen crowd behavior improve over the years, especially now that the team has burned out together. When it comes to big jump season technologies, where knows their way to save it, or they can have their tickets revoked for bad behavior. And O'Leary said that the team performance successfully means that future series and technologies are given away tickets away, and that fares better for fan behavior. Boston police have considered sending men to a section free for a special program where they can learn about the impacts of sex trafficking. Police tell the Boston Herald the so-called John Schools when several initiatives being considered a crackdown on sex trafficking that aims to reduce the dollar sex trade by 20% in the year. The problem is a $30,000 Griffin, the matter of militia the Cambridge Opportunity Group. Boston, the former Massachusetts Boy Scouts Council, and YMCA instructed and sentenced to 6 years of federal prison on child pornography charges. After months of talks, BAG finally pulled off the biggest sport acquisition in the history of corporate Germany with a $66 million takeover of Monsanto Company. Bank making a statement of Wiggins signal with the fight Brexit bounce. U.S. publicist assistant America's single biggest barrier and company that disclosed the annual study by Harvard Business School. One Buffett went south, but his holding company is dealing with a lawsuit. One of its units small, Wells Fargo, with one of its largest holdings is under scrutiny. Palm Desert, California. The federal decision on use 10 million acres of land in the California desert is excellent about how renewable energy planet should be done. The Syria Club said. Washington, months before, the planners in the oil and gas exhibitors, U.S. government said it was opening the economic doors about reforming Myanmar. Washington, the U.S. federal government has said it plans to sell off millions of acres in offshore areas and drills in an effort to simulate domestic oil and gas production. All right, take a look at the stocks now. Dow 31.98%, ATD 34.77, SP 521.25.77, and Nasdaq 5,173.77. Hawaiian quails are species exceedingly wild and demonstrated the remarkable skill that are especially rare in the animal kingdom and ability to use tools. The Milky Way has been mapped in greater detail than ever before. The first quick look indicates that our home galaxy is larger than exceeding the size that involved before, said Giselle Clementian, astronomer at Astronomer Observatory. We mostly consider honest, and too few of us seem to care, but nevertheless, scientists are increasingly convinced that the world is barreled towards what has been the sixth mass extinction event. 5 Russian meteorologists were trapped in Thailand by 10 polar bears on the 2 weeks that followed the West could after dogs and flies scared the bears away. London men were impressing kids who choose closely to monitor disease that just likely to survive at least 10 years as those who have surgery and radiation finds a major study that direct tests compare these options. A serious warning on Pfizer's incorporated crit smoking drug to be removed. 10 to 19 dependent the panelists, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration recommended on Wednesday after reviewed additional trial data and controversial treatment. UNOS wants to make the organ donation system more fair by considering the 11 donations to 8 districts to 8, which means there would be organs from high donation districts like the Midwest can be sent to the coast where fewer people participate in organ. Congress action. New Hampshire candidates, governor, and Congress have squared off Tuesday primary contest for a chance to represent the parties in the November election. The 2016 elections opened up an extraordinary adjustment between supporters of the two leading candidates over the direction of the country, well beyond the divisions that existed in the 2008 campaign, according to the new Washington Post ABC News poll. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump responded to a series of questions about science policies, including 2 questions on immigration. One of the answers reveals this. Clinton and Trump are divided as 9 day of H-1B reforms. Peter Chaldusa is now 8:18 on this Thursday morning, and it is time for sports report. Last night, the Boston Red Sox waste a brilliant pitch performance by Rick Brazil by the bats not waking up as they fall to the Baltimore Orioles 1-0. Tonight, the Boston Red Sox will take on the New York Yankees in the first of a 4-game series at Fenway Park. The Pro Football Hall of Fame has announced 94 former players and coaches and modern era nominees in 2017 Hall's class. Prominent first year nominees include past rushers Jason Taylor, running back Wendy Thomason, and wide receiver Hines Ward. Bill Belichick has a reputation of being in terms of the media, but he can also be quite expensive with the top picks his interest. After the Redskins lost the series on Monday night, the questions started about being asked about why quarterback Josh Norman wasn't talking about Steelers. Why was he enjoying about all game? Normanson had a 1% confidence. Peter Chaldusa is now 8:19 on this Thursday morning, and it's time for a traffic and transit report. Beep beep! Let's start at the MBT with a civil on SL4, SL5 experiencing mounted lanes in traffic and on the commuter rail. Greenbush Train 0701 611 from South Station is operating 25 minutes beyond to go between Weymouth, Atlanta, and Greenbush. Kingston Plymouth Train 038 inbound is operating 10-20 minutes late between Abington substation due to crossing issue. Kingston train 036 7:11 a.m. from Kingston operating 30 minutes beyond skills between South Weymouth and South Station and Kingston Plymouth train 033 7:11 a.m. from South Station is operating 30 minutes beyond skills between South Weymouth, Kingston. And Palm Street, 806 545 from Wickford Junction up at 1050 Bay Outskirts between Edinburgh and South Station. And on the Thursday, looking good. Okay, take a look at that. Was it Broadway's New England, let's start with Connecticut, where 95 to South Bad Side, back to Bridgeport all the way down for Greenwich, 95 to North Bad Side, back to 272. Greenwich, Bear Parkway, West Bad Side, back to Bridgeport down to Stamford, 95 to North Bad Side, back to West Haven, New Haven, 91 to South Bad Side, back to 4, 95, New Haven. 91 at the North Bad Side, stop go from 6 hours with the Mirror of the Derby or the Hartford, Connecticut. 84 East Bad Side is backed up from Bridgeton all the way down to Hartford, Connecticut. 91 at both ends backed up from Windsor Locks at the downtown Hartford. 291 West Bad Side, back to around. Route 91 Windsor Locks. 84 East Bad Side is back to around. Route 8 in Waterbury, Connecticut. 84 West Bad Side, back to Newtown in Danbury, Connecticut. 84 East Bad Side, back to Newtown, Connecticut. 395 looking good from New London all the way at the Worcester. 91 at the North Bad Side, back to 57 to 291 in Springfield. Mass Park change to 291 Chickpea. It's a little slow. Mass Park East Bad Side is backed up from 291 all the way out to the Millbury. 190 South Bad Side, sold before 290. 290 East Bad Side is backed up 146 to Route 9 in Worcester and all the way down to Shrewsbury. Down in Rhode Island, Jamestown, Newport, and Battle Bridges are looking good. 138 East Bad Side. A little slow after the Newport Bridge in Newport. 95 in the North Bad Side. It is backed up from Airport Connected to Walkway to downtown Providence. 195 West Bad Side back to Seacock Way to downtown Providence. 95 in the North Bad Side. It is backed up from Providence all the way at the 146. 95 southbound back to Connected to downtown Providence. 146 southbound side back to 15 to 95. 6 air connectors back to Route 6 and Route 95 downtown Providence. Route 6 East Bad Side. It is backed up to Justin in downtown Providence. 146A on the south bad side is backed up around the 146A in North Smithfield and North bad side back to 126 to Route 122 out in Lincoln, London, Woonsocket stretches. 95 on both ends it is backed up from 285 to 152 in North Edinburgh. 285 both ends backed up 95 in Edinburgh. 28 on the south bad side is backed up to the Waterbury and Bourne. Route 6 in East bad side back to around 134. 95 on the North bad side back to Route 1 in Sharon all the way to Route 128 Kenton. 24 on the North Bad Side. It is backed up from Harrison Boulevard. Name all the way to Route 128 Kenton. Route 3 on the North Bad Side is backed up from Derby Street coming down to the Braintree Split. 128 on the South Bad Side. It is backed to 138 in Stoughton all the way out to the Braintree Split. 128 on the North Bad Side. It is backed up from Route 1 and Norwood all the way after Route 20 Warfare. 128 South Bad Side backed up after Route 9 out of Wellesley. 485 on the North Bad Side. It is backed up from 140 Franklin all the way after the Mass Park in Westport, Mass Park at the East Bad Side. It is backed up from Route 9 and Framingham all the way at the Natick and hit back again after 128 in Weston and Newton. And all the way at the Austin Bar Tolls. Mass Park on the West Bad Side. It is slow to the Newton corner. 7 is person. Both ends is backed up from the split all the way to the Mass Park. Route 3 on the North Bad Side. It is backed up from Derby Street to the Braintree Split. 93 more from South Boston backed up. Mass Park on the West Bad Side. Back to the Lower Airport on the South Boston. Route 7 tells slow count tells looking good. Route 1 is South Bad Side. Backed up from 60 River all the way to 93 in Boston. 93 is South Bad Side. It's backed up to Metro all the way at the St. Bridge, Boston. 93 on the North Bad Side. It is backed up from Soda all the way to Route 128 in Canton. 128 is South Bad Side. It's backed to Route 1 in Peabody all the way up to Waltham. 128 on the North Bad Side. It's backed up for 95 in Peabody all the way up to Route 114 in Denver's. Route 3 is South Bad Side. It is backed up from 485 Lowell in the Braintree Split. 485 is South Bad North Bad Side. It's backed up Route 3 Lowell. 485 both ends backed up around Route 2 in Littleton. 485 is South Bad Side. It's backed to Hudson Heights to 290 Barber. 495 is South Bad Side. It's backed up from 230 Lawrence all the way to Route 93 out in Andover. 95 looking good from 128 Peabody all the way up to the Portsmouth, New Hampshire. 93 is South Bad and the North Bad Side back to the Durham, New Hampshire. Spotted Trip, Everett Turnpike, South Bad Side back to the Manchester Airport. Spotted Turnpike, South Bad Side back to Route 4 in Durham, New Hampshire. Up in Maine, 295 South Bad Side back to Freeport headed towards Portland, Maine. But I was about with the Maine not looking good, and all Route 15 is backed up around the after the U.S. border, 7 Quebec headed towards Montreal and Albany vicinity 87 to South Bad Side. It's backed up from McCannville all the way at Detroit. Route 70 eastbound side is backed up from 87 to Troy. 77 to southbound side is backed up 77 to Interstate 90. And the 3 is slow in the eastbound side from Schenectady down to Albany. And 87 to southbound side, Little Surround, the 3 in Albany, New York. Peter Chandler side, 825 on this. There's one, and it's time now for a weather report. And 7-day forecast goes like this. Today, Pop says God, the drift becomes says God, but say 30 degrees. Dolphins about 6 to 8 miles an hour for today. Close call about 44 degrees. Calm wind for Friday. Says God, but say 30 degrees. Calm wind becomes southeast around 5 miles in the afternoon for Friday night. Most close call about 45 degrees. South wind about 5 miles coming comedy DD for Saturday. Most says God about 76 degrees. Light southwest wind becoming 7 5 to 10 miles in the morning. Saturday night, most gusts come about 61 degrees for Sunday. Chance of showers between 7 and 10 a.m. The chance of showers to 10 a.m. Mostly clouds come at 67 degrees and chance makes it 50%. Sunday night, showers likely possibly at that's one before 2 a.m. Then the chance of showers clouds come with a low at 65 degrees and chance makes 60%. Monday, chance of showers before 5 p.m. Mostly cloudy podcast but the sunny about 62 degrees and chance makes is 40%. Tuesday, most of the podcast but about 61 degrees. Wednesday, sun's come at 79 degrees. Currently not near, it is clear skies and the temperature is 57 degrees with the humidity of 9%. That is going to be it for the Peter Channel Morning News on this September 15, 2016 on a Thursday. I'm Peter, being a good morning and a good pie day. Good